Yeah.
It might be a tiny home in your future. Maybe.
So what was
A
what
tiny
was
house, yeah.
for
so what was
sure
your
what we always think
scariest
about.
moment?
I've actually got, well, I mean, I have one in particular, and I have my one proud moment overcoming that, which kind of goes hand in hand. So if you watch our channel, you know that heights are my biggest fear. Believe it or not, I will climb a mountain in a heartbeat, but the whole time I will be petrified.
Shaking and crying.
So we went to Big Bend National Park. Great park. If you haven't been there, I totally suggest going out there. The tallest peak out there is Emery Peak, and we made an entire day to go up and down, and we went up.
We went up.
And once we got to the top, you get to go up more. However, we went around the wrong side of the mountain the first time. So we lost trail.
Rookie mistakes.
We were bushwhacking. It was literally a straight drop off that mountain where we were bushwhacking.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow.
And I was doing okay, except for I was like, we are not on trail, and I really think we should try to find trail. And in that moment, my backpack, or my pack, got caught on a tree branch. And then I ended up hitting my head on another tree branch. It was like all just boom, 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 boom.
Oh my God.
And my knees started buckling and shaking, and I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, we need to get back to this little flat area, and then you kind of look up, and it was about, what, 40 more feet?
No,
60
it
more
was
feet.
about 80, but you had to put.
You had to take your pack off. I'm gonna tell you that.
Well, it really was better. You're better suited with all fours, right?
Yeah.
So you had to scramble a little bit. I was kind of an idiot, and I did it with one hand because I had the camera in my hand.
Oh my God.
And I was vlogging myself up to the top. But I got up there in the winds, and I got all the way up there, and I'm standing up there looking over New Mexico, and Texas all at the same time.
I was so mad at myself.
I look down, and Melody's about 80 feet below me, and I'm like, hey, she's like, yeah, I'm here. And so I come back down, and then, but the best part about that was that we filmed her fear a little bit. Now it gives her a reason to go back and face the fear. But she came out with a good quote from that has been repeated a few times.
Actually, by our
and
viewers.
it was, I believe you said, some people have to face their fears and other people are fearless. And you were crying when you did it, but we captured that moment. And a lot of people have told us that was one of their favorite State Parkers moments that they've seen. Her being terrified and me being supportive and a little bit disappointed, but supportive. No.
He was disappointed.
But you've done
However,
more. You've done more and better
with that
since.
being said, I freaking went to the top of Guadalupe Mountains, okay? The tallest peak in Texas.
Yeah.
A lot higher than Emery.
About
So,
almost 1,000 feet higher. Almost 1,000 feet higher. Yeah, that was a good one.
yeah,
was good.
that one, there was no stopping me on that one.
That's
Not
awesome.
at it. And let me tell you, climbing up that mountain, we were sustaining 50-mile-an-hour winds or something like that.
Yeah.
Literally just standing there like
Oh my God.
like
I had
climbing
a-
up, and
I
I
had
was
a
like,
bad
nope,
knee
I'm
on that
going
one,
up.
too.
I'm going
Oh
up.
my God.
I had a bad knee,
So-
and that particular video, which that's our Guadalupe Mountains video. That video is what ended up getting us mentioned in Outside Magazine.
I
Yeah.
remember that you guys were mentioned in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of our good friends, Adventure Archives. They
just got to meet them, by
had
the
an
way.
article. They had an article written about them, and of the hundreds of thousands of outdoor YouTube channels that are out there, we were mentioned
It's awesome.
Yeah.
by those guys in that article, and I can't thank you guys enough because here's another interesting little tidbit. That article is one of the reasons, as many of you know, we got almost divorced. For 4 months we were split, and when that article came out, it reminded us what we were doing and why we should keep doing it, and it made us fall in love with each other again. So thank you very, very much for mentioning us in that article, and for all the people who read that.
And just one tiny other little tidbit. It happened to be in the Genius edition.
Yes. Yes, it was the Genius edition of Outside Magazine.
Yeah. And I believe you can get Outside Magazine at Book People downtown Austin,
You
right?
can get Book People. I bought mine at REI, and we had Adventure Archives in our apartment recently, and they all signed it with us. So we have a signed copy that will never be opened again, and we're in the process of looking for the right frame for it. So we're gonna put it up on the wall. And
Maybe when you guys frame that, you'll put it on your channel, and then we can pop it over on my channel as well and share that.
For sure.
Absolutely.
And so you guys brought up a good point too. So it sounds like on your scene, like, you know, in Clint knows this, like when the bands and everything, there's different scenes. It sounds like on your that there is a scene for what you're doing.
You have no
There,
idea.
community.
there's actually a really big community out there. There's so many different types of outdoor videos. It's crazy. You have gear reviews. You have bushcraft. You've got, you know, survival, like actual
Long
survivor
distance
skills.
hiking,
You've
through
got
hiking.
and then car camping, or there's so many different outlets to
I'll
this.
tell you, because of that community, we have met some of the most amazing people that we've ever known in our lives. We're now friends with a Texas master naturalist who's a retired biology professor who has taught us so much. His name is Kenneth Cram. He's got a really good YouTube channel as well.
Check him out.
We got invited to an annual, in 2016, we got invited to an annual bushcraft meetup in Oneida, Tennessee.
Oh, wow.
We have I believe, a 5 or 6 part mini-series on that. We got to meet some of the coolest dudes. Smelling Roses, Caveman Outdoors, Michael Shane Delzell, all of you guys, Billy Joe Denny. They taught us a lot. They inspired us. They snored like crazy. I was able to get footage of that. I was able to get video of them snoring. Because that's another part of the camping community. And when everybody comes together in this huge community, one of the most remarkable things is that massive snoring noise that you hear in the woods. So, no, it's good. Now, we had a great time with that. And we just love it. We love mingling with everybody that's in. It's rare that you get to fraternize with folks who are into what you're into as much, if not more, than you are. That's where I excelled in college. I was an animation student, which is why I got into video, and it was cool being surrounded by people who loved it the way I love it. And now that Melody and I meet all these people out in the woods, as weird as that sounds, they are creative, they are driven, mostly retired.
Oh, wow, it's really sunny out here.
That sun is going down just to the west, right in our face. I'm going to go ahead and muster through it because I'm okay.
Did you want to put your sunglasses on? I know, I cheated. I had mine on the whole time.
But see, your sunglasses are so cool.
Look at her with her bandana. We might need to do a show on outdoor style.
I should.
Soon,
I've been complimented or commented. There's been some comments about me, necklaces, and somebody complimented my makeup one time, and I was like, I don't do makeup when I'm out there. The thing is, okay, so here we go. Here we go. Like he was saying earlier about we should have been called the late arrivals. I get off work. I do dress up for work. So when I get off work and I wake up the next day, there's leftover makeup on sometimes. However, I do not do my makeup when I am out in nature. I don't.
There's a really good reason for why you shouldn't do makeup in nature, and there's also a really good reason why you shouldn't bring deodorant and things like that. And if you haven't thought of this before, maybe this will enlighten you. Animals can smell that.
Yep.
And if you don't want your campsite to be overrun with critters, or God forbid you're out in the southwest region of Texas, or you're along the East Coast, bear country, that's serious business. And if you have, it's better off to just stink, because if you have deodorant, or if you're carrying sweet smelling stuff, the bears find that really interesting. The critters find that interesting. They will bother you.
Think about you when you're out and about and you're like, ooh, bears have that 10 times more than we do.
Oh my goodness.
500 times more. Miles away they can smell that. But anyway, low maintenance is the key to having a fulfilling time in nature. Yep. Nature's not meant to be comfortable. Nature doesn't care whether we're comfortable or not. It's going to do its thing.
True.
And I always have the saying that I like to say, don't mind the itch, it's just nature. All right? So minimize your maintenance on the trails. If you're showing up and you have your RV,
don't
keep
shower.
it all in the RV. Yeah. don't shower very often. We can go camping for 3 days straight, and I don't shower until I get home. But we've typically swam in rivers and done things like that, so it's not that bad. And it's just us two. I'm not worried about. But yeah, keep your body maintenance to a minimum.
Yeah.
That way you can eliminate the amount of wild hogs or bears.
Don't bother yourself with makeup, because by the end of it, you're gonna have black stuff dripping down your cheeks.
Well, and
then
also,
then you look really
and then you're
scary.
like, were you crying all day?
And also, who are you trying to impress?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, just
Look, deer.
makeup is a
Twinkle in the eye.
completely ridiculous thing to bring with you anytime
True.
you go camping, unless you plan on going into town later that night for a dinner or on a date or something, which is acceptable.
True.
But don't put mascara on the trails. That's just weird.
I know, I had to talk him out of it last time.
I learned the hard way.
Well, I'm curious, you guys, if anyone out there is watching this and feeling inspired, like, wow, I want to get out there and hike or see some of these parks. What do you think is like the most important thing you can tell them to get them started, or advice to give them to get them started on their experience in nature?
Bring water.
Yeah. Number one primary objective, make sure check the air pressure in your tires.
Yeah,
Do
that's
that.
a good one.
Make sure that you have plenty of water. If you're in a summer that has triple digits, you need no less than a gallon of water per person per day.
Yeah.
And that's even stretching it sometimes.
And a lot of these parks don't have water, or they're on water restrictions, or there's burn bans and all kinds of stuff going on.
Check the burn ban. If you go up, most people that go camping, they go out with this big idea that they're going to sit around the campfire. I have news for you here in Texas. You never know. Even if it's rained recently, just because of high winds, you never know when a park in a county might have a burn ban. So make sure you check the Texas A&M burn ban map before you head out. It's really easy to do.
Other than that, I would suggest packing light. I know you think you need your whole house to be out there,
Amen to that.
That'd be me.
but you don't.
You can do so much with so little. Because when you're there, you don't need your kitchen.
You don't.
Toilet
You have
paper.
everything.
Make sure you have toilet paper.
I mean, pint. Well, we don't really live in pint, so there's other
She has
ways.
used a rock. She's used a rock. On the Appalachian Trail, we forgot to bring any toilet paper, and Melody actually had to use a chunk of limestone.
Hey, no shame in my game.
But it's permeable, so it soaked it in a little bit. You know? No, it's cool. Yeah. There's a lot, but you're not going to get it all in one trip.
Yeah.
It's going to take you many, many trips to find out. And the best way to know what you need to go camping with
Is to go camping.
is to go without. Because you get there and you're like, oh crap, we don't have this. This would be nice to have. This would be nice. And all of a sudden your shopping list starts growing and growing and growing. And then look out for the REI garage sale stuff, man, because they have the garage sale every few months, and you can get the shoes that I would have paid $160 for to hike with. You can get them for like $30. So look out for those types of things.
But that is another thing too, though, since we're on the subject of what to bring, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but your shoes and your clothes, believe it or not, make a big, 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 big difference when you're out there. For instance, if you're hiking in jeans,
no, don't do that.
you're an idiot.
No,
I'm sorry to put it like that, but
You're not an idiot. You're just not well equipped. Don't hike in jeans because you're going to chafe your butt off. Your socks are the most important thing in all of your hiking and camping needs. Your socks are the absolute most important thing. If you're hiking more than 5 miles in cotton socks, you're going to get blisters. And when you get blisters, not only do you ruin the day for yourself, but you ruin it for everyone else that's around you because you complain about it the whole time, and then you can't walk. So make sure you're wearing merino wool or some type of wool socks or some type of water moisture wicking synthetic socks. Stay away from cotton socks. It's going to destroy your entire weekend if you try.
And the last thing I'll say on that is make sure you know what the hike is about before you bring a cooler.
Is this from experience?
Yes and no.
There is a moment.
Yes and no.
I'll have to dig up the pictures from that. Oh my gosh.
But I didn't even say it on our behalf. Just like what we've seen the public doing.
You
and
wouldn't know it if we hadn't
Like
gone
like with the wheelie cooler. Like they're going
Okay,
we
had a full-on
we had
dolly.
a dolly.
with a we had a dolly with a boat strapped to it. an inflatable boat that we had rolled up. We had a cooler,
This
a
is a
dolly,
true story.
we had fishing poles, and we had to drag this dolly that we were at Colorado Bend State Park on the river trail.
Oh my God.
And we had to hike in about a mile to our camp spot. And oh my gosh, what rookies we were. We will never do that again.
No.
I gave the dolly to my dad. I don't ever want to look at it ever again.
No.
Wow.
But in all
Oh, yeah.
honesty, like
Don't
either
bring it
either
forward.
watch our channel or
Hey.
do your research.
I
but
have some advice for all of you looking to get into camping, especially out here in Texas. Just develop a taste for room temperature beer.
yeah.
All right. So just if you're gonna drink beer out there, you can get your Yeti for $400 if you'd like to, or you can get your Igloo cooler for $20 at Walmart.
Right.
That's fine. Don't bother with it. Throw some beers in your backpack, hit the trails, get out there and drink a 78-degree beer. It's fine. It tastes just as good. You're perfectly fine.
And another thing, how long have you guys been doing this show for?
3.5 years.
3.5, maybe 4. I'd have to
Wow,
literally go
okay.
back and look at the timestamp on our very first episode, which isn't even up anymore. I pulled it down.
Yeah.
We have 185 videos, but I think only 150 of them are state parkers.
Yeah.
Full-on
Oh,
state
okay.
parkers. So the channel started in 2005 for me to get my animations out there.
Oh.